Yes. Hello, students. Yes, this is the second lecture of your operations research class. In the previous presentation, we have discussed what is operations research, what is its history, how it was originated, and what was the use of operations research at that time. What are the meaning and definitions of operations research? In this presentation, we will discuss the topics like objectives, uses, and scope of OR, operations research in managerial decision making. The first topic we are discussing today will be the objectives of operations research. Operations research in an organization is responsible for managing, operating as efficiently as possible within the given resources and constraints. Means if we have scarce resources and limited resources and we have various conditions, after that we have to solve the problem and we have to obtain the maximum optimum solution, maximum profit from that problem. So OR helps us in solving operations questions. It helps in solving queries related to resources, operations such as human resource scheduling, machine and material scheduling, utilization of funds, etc. It helps in making informed decisions. It helps in improving the current systems. It helps in predicting all possible alternative outcomes. It also helps in evaluating risk associated with each alternative. In all, operations research in an organization is responsible for managing and operating as efficiently as possible within the given resources and constraints. In case of complex problems, as listed in the previous section, normal analysis doesn't work in such case. In such cases, OR approaches, OR models, OR techniques will help an organization in reaching a viable solution. Okay, then our next topic will be the uses and roles of operations research. How we can use operations research as a tool. The operation research may be considered as a tool which is employed to raise the efficiency of management decisions as or operations research is the objective complement to the subjective feeling of the administrations of the decision maker who has to make the decision. Then he has to compile, he has to make, he has to do all the techniques, he has to apply all the models to solve that problem, to gain the solution. And the number one of the role, the important role of operations research is the better control over which the management of large concerns finds it much expensive to give continuous executive supervisions over routine decisions. An OR approach directs the executives to dedicate their concentration to more pressing matters. For instance, operations research approach handles production, scheduling, and inventory control. Number two is better coordination. Sometimes it has been very helpful in preserving the law and order situation out of disorder. For instance, an OR based planning model turns out to be a vehicle for coordinating marketing decision with the restrictions forced on manufacturing capabilities. So, if we have to make the better coordination among the employees, among the employer, or among the various consumers in the market, then we have to apply various models that we will study further in next units, unit 2, 3, and 4. Third one is the better system or better coordination in departments. Operation research analysis blends together the objective of different departments. For example, operations research coordinates the aims of the marketing department with the schedules of the production department. How to schedule, how to coordinate the marketing department with the production department. It is also, it will be also coming under the better coordination of the departments. Okay, then there are various roles of ORs. How a manager, how a business person, how a employer can make better decisions. So it will help to make better decisions. Operation research techniques will help us in making optimum solutions, in making better decisions. Next, we will study the scope of operations research. What are its scope? In recent years of organized development, it has entered successfully in many different areas of research. It is useful in the following various important fields like agriculture, finance, industry, marketing, personnel management, production management. How in agriculture department it helps us with the sudden increase of population and resulting shortage of food. Every country is facing the problem of optimum allocation of land to a variety of crops as per the climatic conditions, optimum distribution of water from numerous resources like canal for irrigation purposes. Hence, there is a requirement of determining best policies under the given restrictions. Therefore, a good quantity of work can be done in this direction. Number two is in finance. What is the scope of operations research in finance? In these recent times of economic crisis, it has become very essential for every government to do a careful planning for every government for the economic progress of the country. OR techniques can be productively applied to determine the profit plan for the company, to maximize the per capita income with least amount of resources, to decide the best replacement policies, etc. How in industry the operations research helps us? How it helps us in industry. If the industry manager makes his policies simply on the basis of his past experience and a day approaches, when he gets retirement, then a serious is encountered ahead of the industry. This heavy loss can be right away compensated through appointing a young specialist of OR techniques in business management. Thus, OR is helpful for the industry director in deciding optimum distribution of several limited resources like men, machines, materials of several limited resources to reach at the optimum decision. How in marketing OR helps? With the assistance of OR techniques, a marketing administrator can decide upon where to allocate the products for sale so that the total transportation cost is set to be minimum, the minimum per unit sale price, the size of the stock to come across with the future demand, how to choose the best advertising media with respect to cost, time, etc. How, when, what to buy at the minimum likely cost. So, thus, it helps us in the industry also and in marketing. How can it helps us in personnel management? A personnel manager can utilize OR techniques to appoint the highly suitable person on minimum salary, to know the best age of retirement for the employees, to find out the number of persons appointed in full-time basis when the workload is seasonal. And how OR helps us in production management. What is the scope of OR in production management? What are its applications? If a production manager can easily utilize OR techniques, then it will be very helpful for him to calculate the number, the size of the items to be produced, in scheduling, sequencing the production machines, in computing the optimum production mix, to choose, locate, to design the sites for the production plans. So we have already discussed so much fields like agriculture, finance, industry, marketing, personal management, production management, in the scope of OR in all the areas. There is one more area that we can discuss about is LIC. Its approach is also applicable to facilitate the LIC offices to decide. LIC means Life Insurance Corporation offices to decide what should be the premium rates for a range of policies, how well the profits could be allocated in the cases with profit policies. So, the LIC department can also be helpful in OR with OR techniques. Now we will discuss about the importance. What are the importance of OR in decision making? How decision making can be made with the help of operations research. Business managers face an endless list of complex issues every day. They must make decisions about financing, where to build a plant, how much of a product to manufacture, how many people to hire, how much of a product to manufacture, and so on. Often, the factors that make up business issues are complicated and they may be difficult to comprehend. Operations research is a way to deal with these thorny problems. So, we have to deal all the problems. A manager has to deal various problems. So how a manager can take help from operations research techniques so that he can make very good decisions, very profitable decisions for his organization. It is very important for him. He has to apply the operations research techniques. For applying the operations research techniques, he has to aware of the techniques, he has to be knowledge of the techniques, and if he has not the knowledge, he has to hire some candidates, some expert who can help him to apply all the techniques of operations research in his organization for profit maximization and loss minimization. So now it will be continued as to maintain the better control. How to maintain better control? Managers use techniques of operations research to maintain better control over their subordinates. How can they control their subordinates? So that they can work in team, so that the environment of the organization will be very good. How can they allocate the employees according to their qualifications, their experience, according to their areas, according to their expertise? So there are various models that helps an individual, helps the manager to apply those techniques in his organization to his team members to control over their subordinates. Number two is to better decision making. The mathematical models of operations research allow people to analyze a greater number of alternatives and constraints than would usually be possible if they were to use only an intuitive approach. They have to use various approach, not only one approach. They have to try, if one model is not working, then they can try the another model. If second model is not working, they can also try the third model. I am saying this model number one, model number two, three, and etc. We will be studying various models, various techniques of operations research in the next unit. So please don't be confused that I am saying techniques